Lita. Shout out to Miss Nick and Jarue. I am the person on social media. Um, and I'm just filling in for 15 minutes because Miss Nick on her way. Mr. Jarue, he always doing something. He's always involved in our community, y'all. And I know that he is. I know his heart is in it. So he'll be here soon as well. I'm low key nervous, y'all, because I ain't nobody up here with me. I don't know what I'm talking about, but we're gonna find something to talk about. Something. It's gonna be sad. Okay, let's talk about um a little bit of my journey and what I'm going through right now, and how I got into this position. Um, and when I say position, I mean like where I'm at in life right now. And it all came from a place of me just wanting to know who I was, at my core, right? Like if you're in a situation right now, if you're in a season in your life where you're just trying to figure out like where you're at, who you are, what you're supposed to be doing, what your purpose is, you understand what I'm saying right now. Like I just didn't know what Carlita was supposed to be doing, like what I was supposed to be doing, who I was supposed to be doing it with. And so to be in this space where I'm at right now, working with PSA, it really is something that I prayed for. And it really was something that I didn't know who I would be doing it with, but I knew I would be doing it with somebody. And so I just really stayed to myself. I went through a season of isolation. I put my own self in a season of isolation. I alienated myself from friends, some family members, and I just focused literally on Carlita. And the things that I really focused on, the main things I focused on was my attitude, my emotional intelligence, how I responded to things. Like I really took out a piece of paper and I just wrote down like all the things that I knew about myself at that moment, a period in life, whether it was good or bad. And I just was like, yo, I looked at the left side, which was the bad side, and I was like, yo, we not having this no more. Like, when I really figured out who I was like, yo, you can't act, talk, you can't do certain things because that's not who you are. And you don't like this person. So I literally had to check off things that I was actually working on. And it's difficult. Like, to get to this place where you at in life where you feel comfortable, you feel confident, you feel positive, like you just get that good energy. It's a process. Like, don't let what you see, social media, and even some people that you connected to in real life, like, don't let their life, right, determine what you do with yours, because they don't know what your purpose in this world is for. Like, they don't know why God created you. And so you have to really sit down and figure out like who you are. And to get to that process is hard. To get through that process is difficult. And you need other people. You need people who want to challenge you. If you're that person who self isolates, like you're not social, you don't go to social events. And I saying you gotta be out here in the streets acting crazy, but like if you don't get out and be amongst other people, you'll never find out who you really are supposed to be, and you'll never grow. Right? So I was just that person where if I don't like you, I don't say nothing to you. I don't want to do with you. I didn't like people. People are difficult to deal with. Like, they take you out of your peace, and I didn't like that. Right? So I said that was one thing I had to change on my list. Like, Carlita, you have to become more social. And so I met Jarue through Worcester Maderi, being out there every Saturday. Shout out to Worcester Maderi, y'all. We out there every Saturday. Some older women had told me, like, we not out there no more. Worcester Maderi is popping. Every Saturday we out there. We out there, we out there, we out there. We got the baby volunteers out there. I'm out there. Jarue is out there. My mom is out there. My dad is out there. Like Miss Dana, Miss Caprice. Like, we all really be. Worcester Madera is going to continue to go on till they say we can't, and then we fighting to get, like, you not telling us we can't do this no more. Because we out there to really feed Worcester and Maderi, and that's on everything. Okay, but I met Jarue through Worcester Maderi. My mom went and got food from him, and I'm like, I actually like, do they need volunteers? And she said they did. And I always wanted to be a part of an organization that was really grassroots, ground up, like we thugging it, like we really grinding for this thing. And that's what I'm a part of a PSA, and that came through that manifested, because y'all know y'all love that manifested word. You're like, y'all take that joint, okay? But it manifested itself, and I positioned myself as well. And I had to, before I could be in the space and deal with the things that I'm dealing with on this level, I really had to self-correct. Like, I really had to get into a place where I can maintain where I'm at now, because in this space, you will get triggered. and not in a bad way. It's to show you who you are, because that's why I said you need those people, because those people around you push you, they nudge you, they say certain things that make you check yourself. Like you have different situations, different conversations that really open you up to realize like, yo, my thinking patterns is wrong. Or like, yo, like my attitude really is crazy, right? And you have these people who help you and give you different perspectives and are that are honest with you. If I could say anything, get around people who are honest, period. Like who really will tell you right or wrong even if you don't like it. And then you have to be able to accept whatever they tell you, especially if you go to them, right? But even if someone comes to you and says like, try to give you constructive criticism, you need to be able to take it. And those are some of the things that we don't talk about that you have to address and deal with and be able to handle in order to go into certain spaces and to grow as an individual. So for me, one of the things that Drew and I have a conversation with, and it's funny, is being the person I am today, I never really got direction from a black man, right? So like my father was not an active participant in my early childhood, young adult. Like he's active now, but as a child, I didn't have my dad active in my life. I knew who he was as a person, but I didn't have that daddy-daughter thing. So, and I didn't have uncles around me who gave me direction as well. So what I'm saying all this to say, like coming into this space with Jarue has triggered me so much. And let me just say this too. Stop saying that triggered is a bad thing. All triggers are not bad things, okay? Triggers are good things because it's like a litmus test. Like when you get triggered, that's like a sign like, ooh, why did that just hurt me? Why did that just make me feel this type of way? And then you have to self-assess and you have to say like, yo, what did that person mean from that? And you might have to have a conversation with that person. So I had a conversation with Jarue because when me and Jarue first started going out here and really serving the community, right? He's a mission-oriented person, right? And so I only wanted to be a volunteer. I did not want to be anything more. I just wanted to be a volunteer. And moving with Jarue, like he will push you into spaces, right? That you like, yo, like I don't want to do that. Like, no. So because of that, I had to tell him like, yo, it is difficult for me to allow you to let you lead, like to take direction from you. And if you know him, like he not finna just come out and just be like, what? Or he may think it in his head, but he's gonna allow you to say what you want to say. And we talk about it like even like this was about like 2 months ago. So we still talk about it now. Like, that was a trigger for me to realize like, yo, like when he would text me or he'd be like when he texts me like earlier this week, he texted me something, what I expect. And like those for me, like, what you mean you expect? Like who you talking? And then I have to realize like, Carlita, you're moving, right? Like you can't be all the time. And he told me that one day, walking out of here, he was like, yo, you don't gotta be so strong. Like, you don't gotta be so rah-rah all the time. Like, chill out. And I'd be like, all right, but like, cause I be trying, cause I don't be wanting nobody. And he just, he teaches me and helps me really mold who I am. So I say all that to say, okay, you need people. You can't live this life by yourself. It's impossible. We were not supposed to live this life by ourselves. And we need each other. On this PSA platform, that is one thing that Miss Nick and Drew always is talking about. It's collaboration and being there for one another. And one thing, again, that he always says is, I don't know what it's like to be around black people who don't support each other. Now, it is true. As a community, as a whole, we don't see us supporting each other as much as we would like to, right? But there's a lot of support out there, right? You just got to get into the right circles. But what I'm saying is, I just lost my train of thought. Oh my God. And this one is live. Oh, black people collaborating. He say it all the time. Yeah, like black people collaborate. Like, we all need each other. And in this fight to liberate us from this oppression, right? We're going to need each other as a whole. We're going to have to get back into my business working with your business. It's not about who get the spotlight, okay? It's about you going out here and serving on this side. I'll go out here and serve on this side, and we figure out, like, how we can come together as one. Like, it's not always a competition. We going to stop saying a crabs in a barrel mentality because we've got so used to saying it that it's like second nature, and we think that's what it really is, but we were conditioned to hear that. So now we gotta recondition ourselves to hear like, no, like we really about each other. Like just because you're doing that and I'm doing this, or just because we're doing something similar does not mean we have to be in competition. What that means is it's two forces about to do one thing and it's about to go crazy. Like if you really about what you say you about, it don't matter. It's going to get done. You have to stay on mission, but you need other people. You can't do this thing called life by yourself in any form outside of business or personal. You're going to need somebody. In personal, you're going to get sad some days. You're going to go through breakups. You're going to go through, a death, a sickness. You're going to need somebody. You're going to need somebody to take to the doctors. You're going to need somebody to go grocery shopping for you one day. Like, yo, I'm just really stuck. I'm in the bed. I'm just really not feeling it. And you're gonna need somebody who loves you enough and trusts you and to do the work for you and to help you. And you're gonna need that. You're gonna need that. So that was that spiel. Where is they at, y'all? They are pulling up, y'all. So this is PSA. I'm Carlita. Miss Nick is on her way. Miss Nick is on her way. Jarue is on his way. Jarue is, he really be out here in these streets, y'all. Like, he really do. So he might not show up for another 45 minutes. The show will be over by then. But he should get here. You will see his face today. I will say that. You will see his face today. So, yes. So social media, make sure y'all are comment, liking. Like, we need more interaction on social media because I be putting stuff up. I be putting questions in the stories. I be throwing stuff on the feed, and y'all don't be really interacting like I be wanting to, and stuff really be hitting, and y'all don't be interacting, and I don't like that. So we gonna have to do something about. Here go Miss Nick on period, like Miss Nick. Miss Nick. Okay, yo, here she go. Here go the host, Miss Nick. Here go the raw cannon. No. 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 Oh, Miss Nick. Oh, Miss Nick. All right. Miss Nick said I don't gotta run, yo.
Right? My girl Carlita was in here holding it down while I'm out here running late, Rue running late. It happens. It's a part of life.
For the whole 15 minutes.
But I think I was listening. By the way, I was tuned in. I was listening, and you was making some very good valid points, and you made. I was like, okay, she doing her thing.
So what was the valid point? What was the valid point? What did I say?
Listen, the whole thing about collaboration, PSA. That is definitely what we do. We started this thing, about having people help us, and we help them in return. Like it's it is what it is. Like we need more of it, but I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot out there. Like you mentioned, black people need to support black people more often. You got to be in the right circle. You know what I mean? Put people around you that's out here making moves because we are out here. You know what I'm saying? She talked about her, when you met Rue and how you started, and Carlita has been a great support for us. She has definitely taken us to next levels because it's always levels to this, and she continues to contribute and be here and show up. And she did that for us today. And this is just part of it, being there for each other, showing up when we need you the most.
Because when I seen that text, Carly went. I said, you see, I didn't respond, right? Because I'm sitting there like.
And I didn't see it at first. But it's and sometimes stuff like this happens, y'all. Like, our guest is running behind, we were running behind, and our girl got up here and did what she needed to do to hold down the fort. Once again, this is PSA, Glockaware Radio, every Tuesday, 5 to 6. I know she talked about Worcester and Maderi. Brother Rue always out here, Worcester and Maderi, tackling food insecurity every Saturday. And, the weather about to change. It's about to expand. It's about to get even better. So, just keep checking out for it. Come out, support, help out, volunteer. Come get some food.
It be good food
Seriously.
too, y'all. Let me tell y'all,
Yes, come get
this
some
not
food.
nobody like literally like this is good. This is Trader Joe's. This be Whole Foods, like Giant, and it be good stuff.
Good
It's fresh
quality
food.
food.
I be like, okay, that's for dinner next week. Okay, that's for
Exactly.
dinner.
Exactly.
That's for
And
dinner.
you know that's just like a major thing that we doing out here, and it's only going to get better. It's only going to expand.
It
You know,
is.
the love, support, and grace has always been real here at PSA. And you know, that's what we about. You know, we about going out here in the community, doing things for the community, helping our children, helping our elderly, tackling food insecurity. And you know, it's only going to go up from here. You know, we I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and we kind of, you know, we're talking about things that are kind of like going on right now. And you know, every week I do the say her name segment of the show. And there's a lot going on. We all know the crime. Like the crime is going to happen. You know, things are going to happen. We have intimate partner violence. You know, we have women who are going through you know, like postpartum, you know, after having babies, going through things. Relationship issues happen in that time, and sometimes things take a turn for the worse and it gets violent. And there was a article that I read about a woman who was shot in her house apartment in Baltimore, and the children were in there. And I put my phone down. Like, I really had to put my phone down and just stop and say, you know what, this is just too much. I can't do it. I can't do it. And it's not because I don't want to, right? Because I need to. It's not even really so much of a want. When when I started say her name, it was out of a need for us to talk about and put out there the struggles that black women are facing, the violence against black women. Yes, it started with the police brutality. It started with being brutalized and dying at the hands of the police. But then, you know, there's a whole nother population of black women that are being killed by people we know, intimate partners, spouses, boyfriends, people we try to date.
So how do we get to that space, like as women? Because Miss Nick, I ain't dating, okay? I talk to a couple people, but it can't go past a certain point because of that fear.
And that's one of the problems. And excuse me, I heard you talk about how your relationship with Rue is evolving because of the dynamics of, you know, father-daughter relationship you did or didn't have. And I think a lot of the problems with the fear that we carry as black women, like a black woman will be walking down the street and see a black man in a hoodie and cross the street because she doesn't feel safe. And I think the way that we can get around that, unfortunately, can't be done by ourselves. There's going to need to be some black male influence. Gotcha. We're going to have to build positive relationships with men that do care, that don't abuse the power, and do protect you.
Right.
So, and it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy because it's all trial and error. Like you really have to learn how to trust people again. You got to build relationships with people, and you have to be open for your blessings to come. A lot of times when we are struggling with our own shit, honestly, we tend to push people out, and we lose sight of what the purpose is. And if we can't allow people in, we're never going to be able to heal those wounds.
Got you.
So when you ask as a woman, how can we get past that? The first thing we can do is deal with our own shit.
So it
Okay,
just went back to the beginning.
deal with it. It's a revolving door. Tackle the things that you know that you are dealing with personally, and don't look to blame other people.
Got you.
Acknowledge, take responsibility, stand on your own, and accept the fact that, okay, this is what I'm struggling with.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I don't know what to do. I don't have a history of this. I don't know how to be in a relationship or
A
trust
healthy one.
or trust
Yes.
a man enough to be in a relationship. And the only way you're going to know if you're in a healthy or unhealthy relationship, you got to get in one first.
You got to get in one.
You got to get in one first. And I feel, and I understand where you're coming from, because I myself was there at one point,
And you
and
married.
just like a lot of women
married
are
now, so it's hope.
And let me tell you something. I never thought.
No?
I thought I was just going to be this strong black woman out here raising my kids
Doing
on
what
my
I gotta
own.
do.
I didn't, I was bad. I had the kids first, then got married, and then had more kids. And I'm like, but in all actuality, like, the conversation, we need to talk about it more, and we need to acknowledge it more. And, we are the most unprotected. We're not being protected the way we should be protected. And a lot of that goes with the struggles that our black men are having to deal with too.
And I think that's for me, right? Like, when it comes, like, even though I do not, I have difficulty trusting on a personal, more intimate level. One thing I love is I love black men as a whole. And I don't think enough women humble themselves and really see what they're against. Like, yes, I know, I guess it's from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get to a place where we look at what has been done to us as a whole.
Right.
And how they've separated us and caused all this confusion between us. And we just gotta, like, look at each other part. That empathy, like, we gotta empathize with one another.
You have to be able to empathize.
And that's one thing, like, is that has to happen in order for us to come together as one. And, like, that's why I love talking to Jarue about these things, because he gives me these, like, but Carly, like, he'll challenge me, my thought, and not be challenging me, but he'll make me think of something differently, or change my perspective on things, because I lost my Miss Nick. Let me tell you something. I don't know what's going on. I don't know because I'm up here or what.
No, you're a little nervous. It's okay.
I lost my train of thought.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, having conversations with, find black men who, like you said, you can trust, because even with Jarue, like, it had to build.
Right.
And we had, and it built through real deep conversations that we don't have. Like, it's always surface conversation that we have with people, but it's not until you start digging deep and you start, like, having to be vulnerable,
right,
and then trust the other person not going, like, spin it back on you,
right.
Like, that's hard. But I've become more comfortable talking to Jarue about it. Like, different stuff, like, anything. I've come to a place where it's like, I have to, because I told him, I'm like, yo, like, I don't take direction from black men, and this is difficult for me right now.
Right.
And he was just like, I get you, I feel you. But he didn't demean me. He understood, like, okay, I get you. So how, and it wasn't, he didn't say, like, how can we move on from this? We just kind of moved on, and it was like, he respected where I was at, and he kind of didn't change who he was, but he kind of, like, I guess, like, he still, like, he was still himself, but he was just more aware in how he approached this Carlita. And then now he's like, okay, I can't say this right now, right? But as we grow, then he started saying certain things, and and you could tell it was like, okay, he knows that I'm receiving it,
right,
and I'm not combating it. So it's like he's able to tell me more things and check me and correct me, which a lot of people, no man has been ever to do.
Because of that, because of the wall,
Mm-hmm.
and the dominance,
Mm-hmm.
and the what they call aggressive, but we call
Mm-hmm.
assertiveness,
Mm-hmm.
that we have, in the way that we have to be, because we have this barrier up to keep ourselves protected.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have to protect ourselves,
And it's sad.
And it's sad, and we don't allow that wall to come down. We don't drop that stance. We moving out here like, I wish a nigga would,
Mm-hmm.
mentality, and it's not really benefiting us in a way that is creating healthy relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And what you said about using your voice,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, identifying the fact that this is what's happening is difficult for people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't even understand that there's something happening here.
Okay.
Why am I like this? Like, I'm dominant. I can't take, constructive criticism from a black man.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But a lot of people can't even identify that. They just look at it as, I'm being me. This is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be at a certain level of emotional intelligence, right? To say, okay, what's happening here with me? You have to be able to identify what is happening with you. And once you're able to identify what is happening with you, you can share that with other people. And it's okay to share that with other people, because it's going to allow them to know and understand how to move accordingly when dealing with you. It is nothing wrong with setting your boundaries from the beginning.
Let me tell you, Miss Nick, last week when you the anniversary show, and Jarue was like, he was like, yeah, you was a little shy when you first got here, and he was like, yeah, because you can't get all of me, like you get me. Jarue did not understand that when we first, he didn't understand it. He said, yo, are you like the Equalizer? Now, I've never seen Equalizer before. So I'm like, no, why? He was like, because, like, you come in, you come out, you don't really say what you doing. And like, what do you, who is Carly the outsider when we see her? And I'm just like, I really be minding my business. But it was good to hear you say, like, you get what I give you, and when I feel like you can get more, then I'll give you more.
And that's it.
And that's it.
And there's nothing wrong with it. It's some people out here that move. What you see is what you get. They with the whatever.
That's him.
You know.
Like, yeah.
But and you just gotta respect individual differences. I'm not that kind of person. I feel like you have to earn the right to access certain spaces with me, and it's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that I'm insecure. It doesn't mean that you are secure because you're that way. It's just a way of communicating. And sometimes people don't understand that, and they want this open book every time. And unfortunately, I don't have that. I allow what I want to be out there for the world to see and know at different stages and levels. Because some things I may not share in the beginning, in my 20s, 30s, 40s. I might be able to share once I'm older and reach other levels.
My love for you has just elevated.
Crazy.
Like, it was at like a 10. Now we at like a good 20 right now.
That's what's up.
I'm telling you, like,
that's what's up.
Just hearing your perspective on PSA as a whole. Like, I've told you before, like, we need to have with black women. We have to have that multi-generational conversation. Like,
right.
It's so important because there's how many generations we got out here? Is it 5, 6, maybe? Probably on 7 generations out here living.
Maybe.
But those generations,
depending.
We gotta talk, like, we have to understand, because, like, you're where I'm trying to get to. So if you've already been there, why am I going to sit over here and try to figure it out myself? No, I'm going to come over here. Miss Nick, I got this problem. I got this situation. How can you help me? And can you help me? Can you give me some advice? And what we got to do as black young millennials, women, we got to stop acting like we know it all, because we don't.
Y'all damn sure enough don't.
We don't.
But you know what? Y'all ain't the first generation to act like y'all know it all.
We not, but we the generation.
I acted like I knew it all.
But I feel like y'all
when I was in my 20s, that's like
ours though.
Yeah, it is. And the world is different, and it's changing.
We just out here wilding, sis. Like sis, if you in them streets wilding, I need you to get it together. And that's on period. Like, it's so many things out here that's wrong, that's going on in our community. I don't need you out here tripping. We need you on this side doing the hard work to liberate our people from this oppression. Okay? It's kids out here that need help. It's elderly people out here that need help. Your sister, your mama need help, and you just out here wilding. I need you to stop. I need you to get some guidance.
Guess what? That lady that's out there wilding, that sister, she probably need help too.
So how can we help her?
You can't help somebody if you don't know how to help them. And you don't know how to help people unless they communicate that they have a problem.
But we see the problem. So how
do we
see?
You gotta feel it. You can feel, right? And you see things on the surface, but that doesn't mean you see the problem, because there could be an underlying issue that's causing people to do crazy things, unaddressed trauma, something that may have happened in their life that is not being dealt with, and is causing them to be out here doing crazy things, wild and whatever. And they're just not, they haven't gotten to that point where they've maybe even acknowledged that it's a problem. That's the first thing. That's in any kind of recovery.
That's right.
That's what you gotta. That's what we as a people need to recover. Period. What has happened to us, our ancestors, generations of trauma, we need to recover from. And any recovery, when you think about recovery, you think about like drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. No, you need recovery from trauma. You need recovery from oppression.
That's real.
Right? So with any recovery, what is that problem? We have to identify it. And if we are not able to identify it, we are not yet ready to be on that road to recovery. So it takes a lot.
How do we get our
it takes a lot.
Our as a collective, how do we identify the problem as a collective?
Right here, this is one of the ways.
Gotcha.
PSA, Glockaware Radio, every Tuesday, 5 to 6.
You better say it, Miss Nick.
Love, support, and grace is real. Listen, because this is one of the ways. We channeling energy. We putting resources out there. We sharing art with people, right? We doing the activism. Like this is a way to first help people who don't see that there's a problem, identify that there is a problem. You see it all around. You hear about it. Let's push it out there. Let's push it out there. Sharon, say her name, telling people, hey, this is a problem. Black women are dying. We are the most unprotected race of women in the world, and we need our black men. Let me be all the way honest, because it's going to start there. Our black men to address their histories of trauma. In order to change the trajectory of the way they're living and dealing with us as black women, and be more of that protector. And don't get me wrong, it's the world right now. We have a lot of women that are very confident, strong, independent women that may or may not want the support of a black man.
That's true.
Maybe.
Maybe.
And that's what I'm gonna say, maybe. But I know at one point in time in my life, you couldn't tell me I ain't need a black man for nothing. No, I really, really believe that.
Right.
So I know it's other women out there like me who may be at that stage in their life like, man, these niggas. You know what I mean? Like, seriously. And it's because of the experience that we've had, the abuse that we've been going through, the trauma that we've been going through, and then it's like we don't see enough images of good black men.
That's true.
We don't see enough of it. And that's another thing. PSA is here to show y'all some good images. Do you see all the power and blackness we had on this show? In a year in review, we've had doctors, professors, researchers. We got black people controlling the data.
That's big facts.
Okay? So it exists. It's out here. It just needs more exposure. They don't want to expose it. They don't want to put that kind of information out there. That's why we need black media.
That is true.
Because the black media is the only ones that's really going to put out all the positive images and the positive things that are going on in the black communities.
And we're not talking about BET.
No. BET. We talk about PSA. We talk about PSA.
How PSA does it, it needs to be done because there's no sugarcoating. There's no agenda. There's honesty. There's vulnerability. There's compassion. There's love.
A lot.
There's love.
What we have is real. And when you have real, don't go into real thinking there's not going to be hurt, pain, suffering, sadness. That has to exist for something to be real.
That's true.
Everything is just not always hunky-dory, happy all the time.
That is very true.
No, like you have to go and anticipate and understand that life is going to have its ups and its downs, but it's how you come up out of the struggle that's going to determine who you are, how you're going to move. Like you can't, and that is another part of recovery as well.
That's
right. Adversity is going to happen. Dealing with trauma does not mean that another traumatic event won't happen to you in your journey of trying to recover from a previous traumatic event. But learning the tools, learning how to cope in positive ways, not going out there shooting shit up, not going out there fighting, not drinking, doing drugs. Those are all, self-medicating, self-destructive behaviors that we do when we're going through or trying to, we're not actually trying to address the trauma when we're doing those things. We're just doing those things as a result of a hurt or pain or trauma or mental health condition that we could be struggling with. So it's a lot of things when you think about it that we're struggling with, and we are just partaking in a lot of self-destructive behaviors. And those are not the ways to recover. They're not. But, back on topic of what you said about, how do we get this message out there? How do people know? How do people understand? And it starts with acknowledging, for one, that there is an issue, right? And then one of the ways that we channel this and put this information out there is through the black media, PSA. It's a lot of organizations. Doing this show has really allowed me to network amongst a lot of great black folk that are out here doing good things for the community. And, I definitely want to give my brother Rue, this man been out here on a mission from day one. on a mission.
Period.
I mean, to the point every time he sit down, he ready to fall asleep. I've been falling asleep on him lately, so this. But no, it's real. He been on a mission, and this mission right here, he had a vision. He saw it. We was like, let's do it, and we doing it. And like today is just one of those days where things happen. Like we had people come on the show. We supposed to be at the show, start at 5 o'clock. We wasn't even able to be here at 5 o'clock to start. But we have support. Our girl was able to come on, show up, get us started. I got here when I got here, and we still able to, have conversation about real issues that is a part of why we doing what we doing. It is because of those real issues. We have people come on the show to share their resources, to give y'all some outlets of, how to access things and get information. But, we also talk about real issues that our people are facing. And we can have that conversation with or without guests.
That is true.
We can have that conversation amongst us. We can have that conversation with you. See, the unfortunate part is this is my girl. She is our social media, right? So she not monitoring the social media right now because she on the show with me. So usually when we have, she can, let us know who got some questions or something. Oh, and let's not forget the executive producer.
Mr. Jamaal. Oh, listen, my goodness, Miss Nick.
The executive producer. He ain't here. Let's stop. He had to do. Listen,
happy birthday, Mr. Jamal. I'm so sorry, Bishop. My birthday.
Listen, it's okay. You missed the party, but the actual birthday is this coming weekend.
Okay.
But
okay. What day?
Sunday.
This Sunday?
Yeah, this Sunday.
My birthday's Tuesday.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, shucks. I probably didn't know that. But just forgot. But yeah, so everybody has a role that they play, that they contribute to the success of this show. And sometimes when one person is not here and we got to improvise and, we still going to get the job done. Mm-hmm. That's it. Mm-hmm. We still going to get the job done. I really, would hope that I was able to get some, questions or anything like that or any kind of interaction from the audience, from the viewers out there, and especially our guests. I do, want to shout out and, let them know that we really going to need them to come back on the show, not come back on, come to the show. Things happen and we all right with that because we understand. But, every guest is special. Anybody that comes out and takes their time to spend time with us, to share their resources, to network, to collaborate with us, y'all special. Okay, everybody. And creating this collaborations and coming together and building a network of all different backgrounds.
And they powerful.
All different backgrounds. I mean, from policy to advocacy to art to skills to all types of
stuff that the average, like I said, the average black person in Philly wouldn't know.
Right, like with the work, the training program. Like hair and barbering and sewing. Our girl, like it's so many different people that brought so much to the show and will continue because we're not going to say in past tense. They were here before, but they'll be back again because there's so much that people have going on out here and we don't see it enough. We don't see it enough at all. So, I mean, it's something to be said when a group of black people can get together and do positive things and it be televised, talked about, shared, liked, commented on, and it ain't had nothing to do with a female with no clothes on, chicks out here fighting, Men out here shooting each other, kids out here dying at gun violence, and women out here dying. Like, we are always going to talk about the women that are out here dying when I talk about to say her name. So I mentioned that a little bit earlier, because I had, I got derailed because it gets overwhelming. Mother's Day is coming up, by the way, and I want to encourage everybody to go out here and do something special for a mother. Doesn't have to be your birth mother, it could be your aunt, your uncle, anybody. I know when that time come, I'm gonna have a separate special conversation, but I don't want to do that right now because it's not the time. I don't want to throw that out there too early. But Sophia Wilkes is the name of the black woman that was shot. Was it last Tuesday? In her home in Baltimore, and her children were in the house as well. From what I understand, none of the children were injured. Yeah, from what I understand, none of the children were injured. Um, but there, to me, it seems to be some kind of custody issue going on. The information for me is unclear, so I don't want to be fake media. I don't want to put false information out there. So just mark my words when I say it is unclear to me. It may be clearly written somewhere, but it is unclear to me right now. What were the issues or the reasons surrounding what happened, with this young lady, Sophia Wilkes? And from what I understand, she was a young lady. She had several kids. And, it's just sad because now these children are motherless. And for anybody out there without a mother, if you are a motherless child, you are moving in this world with a sort of a disconnect in your connection to the universe. And when I say that, I don't mean it in a negative or bad way, but I'm a motherless child. And no matter how old I get, I will always be a motherless child. Once you become that, you become somebody different. And only motherless children out here will truly understand what I'm saying. Um, I think it's something that needs to be said about that. And, I want to focus and I want to encourage everybody to share and spread a lot of love and support and grace for mothers out here while they are here. Show that love. Check up on these elderly folks, right? Whether they have kids, had children or not, look out. Check up on them. The weather's about to be changing. We in April. It's about to be May. The summertime will be right around the corner. The hot days are going to be coming. And, it's just something to be said about reaching out and connecting and checking on people. Letting them know that you're there for them. Letting them know that, you right here. You're a phone call away. Stop by. Don't just call, show up. Knock on the door. Reach out, because a lot of people wait till it's too late to try to reach out. And when I say reach out, I mean reach out as well. If you have some, you know, relationships that are struggling, This is like strained. There's some issues going on. Y'all had some beef. Y'all had a disagreement. Mend these relationships with your older folks, like your aunts and your uncles and your mothers and your fathers. And I can't really just tell people to go out here and just, oh yeah, I'm gonna mend this. But I'm just saying, start the process, right? Do something about it. Take responsibility in your role and your part, because a lot of us are out here thinking that it's everybody else's fault, and we had nothing to do with it. Whatever happened, we didn't have anything to do with it. And sometimes that can be right, but a lot of times that can be wrong as well. So, hello. Mhm. Rue? No, he's not here. He's late. What's your name? You coming on to the show? No. Okay. Okay. You're welcome. We love guests. You can come on and join. I don't know who that was. I want to get her name. Maybe there was some confusion to mix up or something like that, but she could have came on the show. We love people coming on the show. Introduce yourself. I love it. But yes, let's start the process of healing, start the process of recovering, mend those relationships. Um, you know, we got to spread more love. And being a part of this, being a part of organizations that are out here doing big things for the black community, positive things for the black community, it makes you feel good. It gives you connections with your family. You can share those connections with your extended family, and word of mouth, like, it's real. Word of mouth is really real. You would be surprised. Like, I've already got so many things planned for my son this summer that I had no idea, for programs that exist for young black boys. And I struggled last summer for him. I mean, I think everybody pretty much struggled the last 2 summers with COVID and everything like that, trying to get these kids involved into stuff. But I know there's a lot of information out here now that I personally am going to take advantage of. The resources that come onto the show, shoot, they be resources for me too.
They definitely.
I want them to be resources for you all. I want y'all to take advantage. We bringing people on the show. They taking their time. They coming up here, telling us what they got to offer, sharing their resources with y'all. Reach out to these people. They shared their Instagrams, their phone numbers. Go back, look at our previous shows. Hit them up. I'm sure if you got somebody, you got a kid or somebody that needs some help with, playing a violin.
Yep.
What's his name? The young brother. It's a complicated one, but he's the bomb. Teaching violin lessons. And it's all, everybody that came on the show had a resource that we all can take advantage of. We're going to continue to do that. Bring the resources. Bring the art. And it's about to be a lot of big things going on for us, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
So, Nick, I got a question.
Yes.
Since it's been a year you've been doing PSA, how has, other than the people and other than the resources that they've provided for you, how have you grown from or through, whatever that word is, from PSA? Like, how has it helped you grow as a person? Evolve?
Well, so when I started PSA, my journey, I was already on a self-fulfilling, I had goals. I was already on this journey of trying to do things for myself. So PSA, being a part of that, just kind of made that process for me move better. Like I was able to navigate better. I made connections that helped benefit my advancement, and it connected with who I am as a person. So, full disclosure, I have been a student at Widener University since like 20, I want to say 2016, um, for uh, for my to be a clinical social worker. And I started that journey, and I had to take a break and take some time and do some self care because when I started that journey, I didn't go about it the right way. So I started back, and I'll be graduating next month um, with my master's degree, and taking that next step into becoming a therapist. So personally,
This is so cool.
yeah, so personally, that is the journey that I've been on. And being a part of PSA and being able to share my knowledge, practice my skills, has definitely benefited me personally and, helped me professionally. I've been able to practice, having conversations with people, real conversations, using valid knowledge and information and therapy and therapeutic techniques and skills and stuff that we talk about and learn about. So PSA has given me that outlet, and it has been a part of my journey.
Right.
So how I've grown, I am still growing. And I would like to believe that there will never be a time where I can say I'm grown.
Got you.
Because I'm always blossoming. I'm always growing. I'm always learning new things, getting better at things, doing different things, being a better person, challenging myself, learning things about myself, fixing myself, right? So I don't think, for me, being a social worker by trade, one of the things that I commit to is being a lifelong learner. So if I'm committed to being a lifelong learner, I don't think there'll ever be a time I can sit here and say I'm grown. Right?
I'm not going to say that no more.
Because I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm growing, and I'm going to continue to grow. And grown for me is an endpoint.
Right.
And when we say grown, like, yeah, I'm grown, I'm an adult,
right.
Yeah, I'm grown like that, but grown for me is an endpoint.
Right.
I'm growing. We're growing. We're all growing. PSA is growing.
It's growing.
Glockaware is growing. We're all growing. And that's that. This is PSA, Philly Service Announcement, every Tuesday, 5 to 6, Glockaware Radio. I'm Nick, Raw Kim, my brother Rue, the assist, our girl Carlita, social media.
Can we at least FaceTime real quick to see if you can get on real quick?
Excuse me.
1 second. Let's see if we can at least FaceTime.
He ain't gonna answer the phone. He don't never answer his phone.
He might.
Listen.
He might. If he answers, I don't know. It's 6 o'clock.
It's 6 o'clock, y'all.
Let's see.
He answered.
Say hi to PSA.
Say we out, brother. Say something.
Say
bye.
Can you
just put it to the microphone?
I'm in the courtroom, so I'm gonna close the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if it's Nick can hear you.
We can hear him. We can hear him. Just say goodbye, brother Bruce. Since you ain't never make the show, just say goodbye to the mic.
That's what we doing out here. Supporting Grace. The Queens held it down. They didn't answer my question though. I did have a comment. Nobody answered.
How we supposed to know? How we supposed to know?
Well, you've been watching the whole time. He's been watching the whole time.
But how we supposed to know? Sorry, brother Rue, we didn't get to your question.
What was the question?
What was the question?
What y'all Is it a certain type of person? Is it certain questions? Is it a certain amount of time? Like, how do a person get to know more of you?
As a general?
I would say, and we going thank you too, Ken, and we gonna end with this. But I would say it's a level of comfort that has to be mutual.
That's it.
And I'm gonna leave it at that. It's a level of comfort. That level has to be mutual, and we out here and we living, so we know it's levels to this. It's levels to everything. We gonna end with that, brother.
Say bye. Say that's what we doing out here.
That's what we doing out here. It's levels to this, y'all. I'm sorry. All right, y'all. We out.